This is Bigger Than Memphis, a video podcast where I interview local businesses in Memphis and the surrounding areas. We get to know these entrepreneurs on a professional level and also on a personal level because you should know who you're doing business with. So come along with us on this journey and we hope that you enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bigger Than Memphis, a video podcast for local Memphis entrepreneurs. And today I have Miss Sonja Jones of V. Where I get V from? I know I'm country, but I ain't that country. Of GIP Financial.
Oh, that's what's up. Yay.
She is so cool. I met her at a Eventbrite event, actually in the Southbrook Mall.
Right.
And she was doing a financial class on grants and
loans.
Yes. It was very informative. I think that's the right word. Don't tell nobody.
Both words were good.
Okay. And I really enjoyed myself. I had to leave early because my son was playing soccer at the time.
That's all right. Mom first.
I know, right? But I really enjoyed myself. I did not want to leave. So that's how I first met her. And hopefully I know you guys will enjoy her. So, Miss Sonja, before we get started, I'd like to loosen up my guests. And we play a little game called You Can't Say That. Memphis Mind Edition. You ready?
Let's go. Memphis edition.
Memphis Mind Edition.
I loved it.
Okay. It's just like Taboo. You have to get me to say the word in purple, but you can't say any of the words down below.
Oh, okay.
So even if you can't get it, like one time, you could do word association, just even if it's not, okay. So you ready?
Yes. Now, two of these I'm not particularly familiar with, but this one.
Okay, so use word association to get me to say it.
Okay.
On the two that you're not familiar with.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna do the one I am familiar with.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
All right. So it's an athlete and
Anthony Hardaway.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
This particular athlete was rumored to give away
Zach Randolph.
Yeah.
I remember that girl. Everybody was trying to go pay their light bill.
Right. That was like, where MLGW at?
Yeah. That was so funny. My husband was like, babe, they said Zach paying phone bills. I was like, light bills. I was like, for why?
That line, I remember watching on Fox 13, and that line was wrapped around the Exxon on Poplar Avenue downtown.
Yes. Now, I do remember one time he did it, but it was like, hush, hush. I'm like, why would he put it out? I don't think he would do that. I don't see him as the type of person to be like, yeah, I'm giving a whole bunch of money away, y'all. He just a real cool, I'ma do it.
Right.
And that's what he did. He did pay a lot of people light bills one time. But boy, everybody, you going? I'm like, no.
Yeah, I was thinking one person like, girl, you supposed to pay my light bill.
I know.
What, girl? I'm getting in line.
Right. Okay, now go ahead. What's the next one?
All right. All right. This one is an eatery.
Okay.
It's near the University of Memphis.
Brothers Jupiter?
Nope, not that one. It's in the part of Memphis. It's a very eclectic, colorful part of Memphis.
Okay, Cooper Young area.
Right, we're getting closer.
Side Street Grill?
No,
okay.
I would say this is probably one of the more popular. I've heard of this place before.
Okay,
it's probably a more well-known eatery. They make sandwiches.
The submarine place?
I think so. With the lady.
Okay. What is the name of it? Oh my God, I just looked at the sign. Mm-hmm.
I want to say this is the same one.
Something about sandwiches. Oh my God. Okay, give me a word that go with the first word. Like, can you give me something that's associated with that word?
The first name of this restaurant is the opposite of old.
So new? Oh my God, I don't
think
know.
About soap opera in The Restless.
Oh, Young.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Young Street Deli.
Young Avenue Deli.
Okay,
ding,
I was
close. Now this one, child, I don't know what to tell you about this one. I believe it's in the same area.
Okay.
You have to get creative. Part of its name resembles a game show host that recently passed away.
Okay. Bob?
Mm-hmm. That's the first name.
Okay.
Think of the last name.
Barker?
Mm-hmm. But it's similar to that.
Baker?
Mm-mm. It was
Carver?
The first part of that individual's last name, but it's not
Bar.
Right.
Okay.
This one's tough because I don't even know where this place is. Can I just tell it to you?
Okay, what is it?
It's called Bob Barksdale's Restaurant.
Oh.
Have you heard of that place?
No. I just recently said that the ones that I have never heard of, I'm going to go to. I'm going to take my listeners and followers and subscribers on a field trip.
Oh, also, I would like to go because I don't even know where Jones stayed. By the way, happy 901 day.
Yes, I see you with your blue on.
Don't play with it. I had my Tiger stuff on earlier, but you said I can mark it. So.
Yes, this might not be played on 901 day, but it is 901 day when we're recording. No, yes. It's okay. Oh, okay. That's more than fine now. That's so fun. But she does have her Memphis blue on. She representing.
Don't play with it. Go Tigers, go.
Okay. Ooh. The big building where you go read stuff.
Library.
Okay. The one downtown on, I can't say this street. The one downtown.
Cosset.
There you go.
Bam.
Okay.
This is fun, by the way.
I know, right? English people, they drink it all the time.
Tea.
Okay. And we have a restaurant here, and it's called...
Oh, the little tea shop.
There you go, girl. You cold.
Don't play with it.
You cold. And what street are we on?
Elvis Presley.
All right.
Rick Ross. Elvis Presley Boulevard.
You cold. See, I should have did the one I did with somebody the other day. I was like, born in the 80s, crack baby.
Oh,
you know who it is? Young Dolph. She was like, what is that?
Yep.
You know what I had to say? The young man that just perished. The famous guy.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only way. She was like, oh. And then she was like, Young Dolph. I was like, good job. That was so funny.
She had been around my age. I give her a grace.
Yeah. Well, some of them I don't know. I'd be like, who is that?
Right. That's why you have children, because they'll be able to tell.
I know, because it's a lot of Memphis rappers. They somebody was like, Lil so-and-so died. I was like, who is that? Like, I'm not sure.
Right. Child.
My cousin, you ain't hear about that? Sorry. I don't mean no harm, but I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so we finna get into it.
Let's go.
All right. Miss Sonja Jones, tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about your business.
Okay. Well, Miss Sonja Jones is a 44-year-old wife, mom of 5.
Oh, wow.
We're a blended family.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 23, all boys, 23, 22, 21, 17, and 14.
I think boys are easier. I have a girl
Yes.
and a boy, and that girl, I be like, oh my God.
Yeah. I can deal with musty boys
I
over
know.
girls that over dramatic. I deal with musty boys any day. You can Febreze that. It's like, what are you doing?
That's terrible. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. But it's true.
Yes.
Okay.
Born and raised in Memphis. I'm from North Memphis, Raleigh area.
Okay.
Spring Hill Elementary.
Oh, that's where my husband's from. Drop me off and I'm lost.
Right. Now you sound like my husband. He's from South Memphis, La Paloma.
See? I'm with him. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I was a graduate of Craigmont High School, junior and senior high school, class of 97. Because in Memphis culture, you have to know what high school you went to see if you about that life.
I don't tell nobody. I don't tell nobody. They be like, "Where you graduate from?"
That's hilarious. Yeah, but I'm also a graduate of the University of Memphis.
All right.
I'm a teacher by trade, so my bachelor's is in music education.
Wow.
And my master's is in instructional design and technology. So education is my trade over 20 years. I just recently resigned from, I was a school administrator, director of finance and operations for a local charter school here in Memphis.
Okay.
For over 10 years. So teaching is my superpower. That's what I do.
Oh, that's your superpower. I like that. I just recently talked to my aunt. We talk about a lot of spiritual things. And somebody had asked me something. They asked me, could I train somebody in doing something? I work a little part-time job, whatever I can do to keep this going.
And so it's not little.
So I work a little part-time job, and they were like, can you train somebody? And I was like, And then I had to think about it, and I was like, I am a teacher. I have always been a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I can train somebody. I said, I apologize to you because I shouldn't even did that. I'm a teacher. If you want me to train somebody, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So, to actually feel it and be like, I'm a teacher by trade, it really makes you feel some kind of way. You be like, I'm a teacher. I got to find out if I don't know so I can show somebody. Don't ask me a question.
That part. Because if I don't know it, I bet you I have the answer, or at least connect you to somebody who does have the answer for you.
Yes, I feel you on that. Okay, so you did a lot of bragging. I like that bragging. There was some good bragging there, baby.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Was good. That was good. Okay, so what is the name of your business?
It's GIP Financials, and GIP is an acronym for Get in Position. And what we do, we empower CEOs to prioritize their numbers and position their business for profit. And we do that through bookkeeping and fundamental business finance education. So again, teaching is our superpower. It's our ministry. Okay. We're a teaching ministry at GIP Financials.
What that shirt say?
Ask me about bookkeeping.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you help or some of the ways on how you help businesses get prepared for being financially savvy or knowledgeable and in a good place?
That's a great question. So one of the things that, and I'm constantly, changing kind of like what our pitch is, for lack of a better term. And so when we were at InvestFest, I know we're going to talk about that later, we put on the backdrop, easy bookkeeping for entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And so from that standpoint, I'm going to kind of talk about it from easy bookkeeping. As an entrepreneur, everybody has one goal, and that's to make money for whatever sole purpose is. If you're just trying to pay an extra bill, you're trying to get out of your 9 to 5, whatever that is. However, what I've noticed and what I've observed, especially as a school administrator, that's how GIP kind of got, started, because we had a lot of parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles that had businesses, and we wanted to patronize them and honor them in their talent. Right. But they lacked the financial acumen because they saw charter schools as a cash cow, to be quite honest. They like the Birdman hand rub. And, they just thought that because they knew the school director that they could bypass all of the requirements. But charter schools have accountability from the state of Tennessee, and every penny has to be accounted for. So we can't pay you PayPal, friends, and family.
Yes.
If we give you over $600, you have to get a W-9. And if you try to be slick, and put false information on there, I got you.
Not you, Uncle
Right,
Sam.
Uncle Sam got you,
yes,
right.
Yes, federal government.
Feds.
Yes.
FEDS.
And it's funny that you said that. I was just talking to a guy yesterday, and he was like, my son is trying to get into gaming, and he wants to get some sponsorships and stuff like that. And I said, oh, okay. Well, make sure you get him at least the EIN. And he was like, what you mean? I said, get him a EIN so you guys can look like a business. If you're just doing it and you don't have any paperwork behind you, it's like you playing for fun.
That's right.
And I said, they're going to move on to the next person. At least if you have a foundation, they say, okay, well, he's not playing. Let's see what we can do to get him the other paperwork that we may need for him. At least he's trying. But if they say, well, what's your EIN? And people don't think they ask you these questions. Sometimes even when you set up these sites, they ask you, what is your EIN?
Absolutely.
Because that is just the basics of you paying your taxes on your money. They want to know you can pay their tax on your money.
Absolutely. Right. And then also too, like you mentioned, that gamer, that's a brand.
Yes.
He's developing a brand. That brand has to be protected within an entity.
Yes. Yeah. You are so right. Okay, so what do you think, all these people out here, they want to tell you they can get you $1 million gajillion if you just follow me and if you just do this. What makes GIP unique or different?
We're going to tell you the truth. And we're not going to jail for you.
Look, I'm going to call. I am going to set up an appointment, but I'm scared because my business, I don't call it a little business, but my business is not where I want it to be yet. So that's the only thing that scares me about getting help with my business. It's a lot of stuff that I have learned and done on my own, but I know I can't do it all by myself.
Exactly.
And I'm always open to some healthy criticism, especially from somebody who is in a good place and know what they're talking about.
Right.
So even though if Miss Sonja tells you the truth, I don't see her being like, we can't help you.
Right. We're going to find a resource. So just piggybacking off of the first question cause I feel like I didn't fully answer it.
Go ahead.
But I'm going to kill two birds with one stone.
Go ahead.
So going back to the businesses that, everybody's trying to make money, right? And what I noticed that a lot of those businesses were just kind of left in survival mode, for lack of a better term, because they're just, hustling and they're, whatever their product or service is taking off. But like you said, once it's time, once you see or hear like the Comcast Rise grant or any other type of grants or funding that the local government may be, advertising, and you want to get a part of that, which you should be fully entitled to, you run into, roadblocks such as not having your entity set up, not having an EIN, not having a business checking account. That was the primary factor for folks not getting the PPP and the EIDL. Really? Not having a business checking account, not separating personal and business finances. So that's where we come in, where we basically help you say, hey, I see that you out here doing your thing, and we want to make sure that you're able to grow this the right way. So we talk about, we have a product we used to call it the 3 Financial Mistakes CEOs Making Their Business, but we rebranded it. It's now called the Business Finance Blueprint.
Okay.
And so what we do in there, we walk through entity structure, right? Because quiet is kept too, especially just within the confines of Tennessee. A lot of entrepreneurs assume that just because we don't have income tax, they assume that we don't have business income tax. There's a little acronym called TNTAP.
Yep, and I know a lot of people who do not have their paperwork. I help you get it. BTM Business Solutions, baby. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. And truth be told, we're going to probably end up doing a workshop specifically on TNTAP. Because there are a lot of people like, I don't know why.
And it's and the reporting part on it. They don't want to report it. They're going to send you that notice, though. Even if you're not doing anything, they just want you to put it in. But they going to send you that notice.
Exactly. Y'all going to the Shelby County clerk is not, that's not step one. Once you file that paperwork, it goes to the state. And so you still, every year, in order to maintain your license, you still have to file your business taxes at minimum $44. That's the minimum, right? Even if you're not generating any income, you still want to keep your license active, because that's what I tell a lot of entrepreneurs. Like, even if you're a sole proprietorship, it's so important that you set yourself up as a standalone business. That's where the EIN, and then you have to show that you are a business you're an operating business. You have to have paperwork. That's what a business license is for.
Yes.
You can't just use your social security number. That's only going to get you so far.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we help entrepreneurs, just really taking you from point A to point B. So getting you from the entity, and then we talk about systems. So once you start your business, we're all in the business of making money.
Yes.
You got to be cognizant of, once you engage with that customer, how are you going to receive income from, quiet as kept, having like the PayPal and the Cash Apps and the Stripes and the Venmos and all that. We want you to be able to have flexible options for your clientele, but all those transactions, one, having all those transactions, and two, trying to keep up with them all can drive you crazy.
Yes.
So you have to make sure that you streamline that for you. And then we also talk about the money out, because you have to have a good relationship with your vendors.
Yes.
Right? You have to make sure that when you're subscribing to these platforms, like your email platform, your social media, stuff like that, your ads, and you want to make sure that you're tracking those expenses so you're not paying double for multiple types of platforms that are doing the same type of service, things like that. So we have to, before we even talk about QuickBooks and accounting software, we have to talk about your systems. Because truth be told, especially depending on the stage of your business, you might not be ready for QuickBooks.
That's right.
You might not be ready for that. And we got a solution for that too.
Look, you just laid on a bunch of education and people don't even understand what you just. That's why I was in the class. I was like, I know. She know what she talking about. I was like, she know what she talking about. When you can hear somebody, when you know a little bit stuff yourself, and you hear them, and then they add on to, it's like, this her. I need to see her.
Thank you.
So, what is your target market? Who are you looking for to come see you?
That's another good question, man. You got some 5 questions. All right. So, I'm gonna tell you how we started. Okay. We started with monthly bookkeeping services. And once we kind of narrowed down and took some time to actually look at each one of our monthly bookkeeping clients and get what we call like the client avatar, your ideal client, we noticed that those individuals were primarily service-based businesses with an average gross revenue of about $250,000 a year.
Wow.
Most of them have at least one employee or either a W-2 employee or a contract worker. And they simply don't have the time to do their bookkeeping. So we started from there. We also do bookkeeping for nonprofits as well. So we currently have, I want to say three nonprofit clients. Their average revenue is between $1 million to $4 million a year.
Wow.
And we specialize rather in helping them like manage their grants in addition to the bookkeeping. So that's that part. So what we actually had to do, we noticed in our consultations that a lot of our entrepreneurs that wanted the services, they felt like outside of QuickBooks setup, which at the time was like a one-time fee, 2-hour training, there was nothing in between.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of go back and see how can we make sure that we tailor services for all entrepreneurs, regardless of their level. So now we have do-it-yourself through online courses, and like the course that you came to with Grant and Loans. At the beginning of the year, we made sure that we offered at least one workshop that was at least $10. Like 10 to get in, kind of like
that's
the
how
club.
That's how much it was. It was $10.
It was $10.
I was like, I'm going to this.
Right. And so we started off with that. And then we had done for you services, such as the QuickBooks setup. We also have, remember I told you there's another alternative. One of our staff accountants created a spreadsheet that has formulas in it.
Yes.
That will allow you to, from your bank account, download those transactions, put it in the spreadsheet. You can customize your income and expenses.
Wow.
And it'll generate your profit and loss. It'll give you cash flow information. It'll give you your net profit margin. Also your balance sheet information as well. It's called the DIY tracker.
Wow.
So if you remember from that class, we called that program the Money Magnet Boot Camp.
Okay.
But we renamed it now that we're in tax prep season. It's called the Tax Prep Boot Camp.
Okay.
So it's the same 2-hour tutorial, and you get that DIY tracker. It's included in the pricing.
Oh, wow.
So you have that. And that spreadsheet, you pay for it once, and it updates with you. Like it has a thing like for your calendar. So if when you change years, all you got to do is just rename it, put the date on that junk, and that thing keep on flowing.
Do y'all hear this now? New entrepreneurs, everything costs money. Oh, my God. Everything costs money. If you can save money and you're just starting out and you don't have a bunch of transactions, that sounds like the way to go. We're gonna have to get your information. If y'all don't go to this website and check this stuff out, this is some really good stuff. I wish I would have known some of this stuff before I got started, because I pay for everything.
Right. And to keep in mind too, everything for your business, especially in the realm of bookkeeping, is tax deductible. Right. So there might be another free service that I'm gonna talk about at the end of the program.
Here it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said before you started your business, you were in education.
Yes.
So you started off as a music teacher?
Music teacher.
Okay. And then what was the next step after that?
So just for context, when I was teaching music, I had 2 other businesses.
Okay.
My parents and I invested in real estate because that was around 2009 when the first recession came. And my father in particular, as he was preparing for retirement, lost a considerable amount of his investment, and we were looking at some more like low risk alternatives. So we looked at real estate investing, and we invested in a block of duplexes in Fraser.
Can I have your mom and dad? Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so we invested, and they trusted me. First of all, that's another. They trusted me to say like, Sonja, we know that you all about numbers. See what you can see out here, and we invested in like 8 properties off of Fraser. If you know where the Hope Credit Union is on Harvester, it was those duplexes directly behind. Then we owned those properties.
Look at God.
For a couple of years. And it was a seller financed mortgage, which means we didn't have to do a credit check or anything like that. Like it was all God. But I'm gonna tell you, not just from the seller finance portion, but I'm gonna tell you how God kind of just showed out in that. Due diligence is so important as an entrepreneur, especially in the realm of real estate. If anybody is listening to me, the one lesson that I got from that, if you're going to invest in real estate, make sure you get a mentor that is local to your area.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because out of all those duplexes, when you're thinking about property taxes, you would assume that those duplexes were zoned as residential. But if you don't live in one of those, like on one side, it's going to be zoned as commercial.
Oh, wow.
And them property taxes like, give me your money, give me your cash flow, give me your profit, baby.
Yes.
Right. And so that was a significant blow. I'm going to tell you how good God is. We had one of our tenants that received like a housing voucher from a nonprofit. And the case manager came over to do the inspection. Because you have to turn the lights on, make sure that the caseworker comes to inspect the property. And so she was so impressed by how we kept up the properties that she put us kind of like on their landlord list. And when I tell you that the floodgates kind of opened from there, so we were a premier landlord for temporary and permanent housing for several of the nonprofits in the Memphis area.
That is wonderful. Look. After we get off of here, I might have to talk to her because Miss Sonja got a bunch of stuff. Okay, look here now. I hope y'all paying attention. This is a good interview, baby.
So that was that. And then also, I told you I was a music teacher, so I also taught piano lessons during that time as well.
Oh, okay.
And that was very, very fruitful and lucrative. So at that time, once we called it Bell Investments, that was the name of the property management. once Bell Investments kind of got to the point where I felt like I needed to come off of teaching, at least part-time, to manage that. Unfortunately, my employer at the time did not give me part-time as an option, so I went on ahead and resigned. And so my former boss, he had moved on at that time because he was asked by some movers and shakers here in Memphis to start a charter school in South Memphis.
Oh.
And so at that time, I thought I was going to go to the new school.
Okay.
Once that got set up to teach music. But God was like, no, we got another plan here, Jack.
It ain't the one that started with an S, is it?
No.
Okay.
And so from there, I was just starting kind of like part-time, doing like some pre-planned work as the school was about to open. And I just never left my spot.
Wow.
And so 10 years in, I learned about school finance, accounting, payroll, compliance, audit, all of that. It was just like retirement, pension. There you go. Learn that.
Wow.
There you go. The rest is history.
Y'all better get some of this anointing. y'all better get some of this anointing. She done told y'all about all this favor on her life, and she ain't that old, y'all. But
to
anyway.
God be the glory.
Okay, so what made you start GIP Financials? I know you said that it was people coming in trying to get monies from the school, but was that your primary reason, or was it more for a different reason?
I think primarily it was just for education purposes.
Okay.
I just saw too many talented people not getting the access to stuff that they needed.
Yes.
So I think that was primarily what it was. And then, like I said, nobody knew that the pandemic was going to be right around the corner. And then when I heard about, the PPP, especially if y'all remember, there were 3 rounds of the PPP. In that first round, it was a hullabaloo. Money was just coming from in and everywhere, and folks was just trying to get it.
Yes.
And folks was like, I will apply for you.
Yes.
And you just give me a piece of the cut. Folks was just falsifying information.
Yes.
Because if anybody got at least $20,000, I think that at the time that was the max of the PPP, that means somebody was reporting that you were receiving over $100,000 in income. Yeah. And so we was like, y'all, stop this. You can do that at your bank. Get the PPP from your bank, because that way they already know
what you're doing,
what you got.
Okay.
So it was a lot of evangelism during that period. Like, y'all, stop this. Stop it.
I was so afraid. I was doing hair when the pandemic first hit. And my folks was like, you do hair, go ahead and get that PPP loan. I was like, and go to jail? I'm all right. So I just I didn't even try it. And then when people was like, I know somebody that can apply. And I was like, no, because then they mean they got to have my personal information. And I don't know these people like that. I just sit on the sidelines. So I was just like, no, I'm not going to worry about it.
Right. And your reaction was the reaction for a lot of people, especially the ones that we actually helped get their loans forgiven. Because my thing was, first of all, especially not so much with the PPP, but especially with the EIDL, this is probably going to be the cheapest money that you are going to be able to get probably for the remainder of your life. Because we don't want another pandemic, but I'm just saying. I think it was like a 30-year amortized loan for 3.5%.
Oh, wow.
And then you didn't have to pay on it for like, I want to say it was at the time like 2 years and stuff like that. So the EIDL, it was like, please get it. Even if it's better to have it and not need it and need it and not have it. Because that was cheap money.
Yeah, that is.
As far as the PPP, like you said, a lot of people were like scared to death because it's Fed money.
Yes.
The EIDL, that's SBA backed. That's Fed. That is Fed. But being able to, like I said, just know how to do it the right way. Because if you were established business and you were able to show that you had tax returns, being able to document that you were a self-employed individual and you were making said money, then you were fine. Right? And thank God at the time for the Biden administration, because after that third round, that's when, President Biden was elected, and he specifically took like 2 weeks for only the mom and pop businesses to apply for the PPP funding. And that was the time where we just struck the ground running. Like, y'all, this is it. Come get your money right now. And out of the businesses that we helped get that PPP money, all of them got their funds forgiven. Wow. All of them. Because we did it the right way.
Yeah, I hear it.
But no, you got to have integrity when you're doing stuff like this. So if you do it the right way and you're doing your stuff in integrity, you have no choice but to, get the benefits that you worked hard for, that you're paying taxes for.
Yeah, you're right about that. Okay, so how did you start your business? Like, did you, let me give it an example. Like, did you just already have your game plan, or did you have to, like, somebody had to tell you, girl, you should make this a business?
That's a good question. So everybody that knows me knows that, like, I'm a numbers chick.
Okay.
I've always kind of been a budgeter. So it's just kind of been who I am. But I cannot say this without, like, my mom was the one who taught me how to budget, and just be a good steward of your finances. So in my dad too. So I'm not who I am without my parents. My dad had the work ethic. My mom had the stewardship gift. And she loves people. Both of my parents are relational people, but my mom, if you know my mom and you interact with her, you know where I get it from. Okay. Because I'm a clown. And I'm unashamed to say that I'm a clown. And so it started from there. But as far as me starting GIP Financials, I got a coach. That's the first thing that I did. Okay. Her name is Renelli Williams. So shout out to Renelli.
Shout out.
And she was at the time doing bookkeeping coaching. Like I said, if you want to be a bookkeeper, I can walk you through it. So it was a $3,000 investment. Okay. And so she walked me through how to establish, it's called QuickBooks Online Accountant. So it's kind of like your portal for receiving clients and things like that. And it also gives you a training portal to be certified in QuickBooks and things like that. Okay. So she walked me through all that. She helped me with my pricing, how to get clientele, all that type of stuff. So first of all, I invested in a coach. Okay. And it just kind of grew from there, and just word of mouth and just being available to talk to people and stuff like that. So yeah, okay, that's how I started.
So did it take you a lot of money or just a little bit of money?
At the beginning, I would say it started with Renelli.
And I don't think $3,000 is a lot for you to pay for something that's gonna set you up for life.
Absolutely, right? Because especially if having the talent and skill is one thing, but to able to implement it and establish systems is something totally different. So, like I said, I'm an educator, so I understand the value of education. So as of right now, I've invested in like several different things. Kind of like as your business grows, you have to be cognizant of what you need help in to take you to the next level. So as of right now, I have an accounting firm coach to kind of help me build my infrastructure, because right now we have a team. So in addition to me, I have 5 staff accountants who I call the positionettes. Okay. And we also have a client concierge. So that's the person who nurtures our bookkeeping clients, make sure that they're straight, kind of love on them and things like that. I also have I call my spiritual business coach. I have her.
Where do you find it? I can't find no good people. Okay, go ahead.
Her name is Sean Strickland. Okay. And her husband are also my pastors. Oh. Pastor Edwin and Sean Strickland, Fellowship of Champions Church in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Oh, y'all hear that?
Right. So look up Sean Strickland, and her program is called the Soul Shift Program. And so I'm part of the Inner Circle. I started with her, I think it was like 2020. And at the time, the Inner Circle wasn't available. So we kind of grew into this. So it was Soul Shift Money. And then she started with Soul Shift and then Soul Shift Money. And then we kind of grew into the Inner Circle once she kind of got her following up. So right now, if you're interested in being in her program, follow her on her page every Monday at noon. She has strategies for success. Oh, wow. So start there, see if she's a good fit for you, and then you can invest. That's what I always suggest. Okay. And then I had a social media coach. Her name's Tierney Scott. So I'm not, you know, if there's something that I need and I know I don't know how to do it, I'm going to invest. So that's just, and like I said, as you grow in your business, you just got to make sure that, you know, and sometimes, like you said, you might have to get a part-time job to fund what you need to do to go from point A to point B, because your business might not be cash flowing enough to do that. I would also advise anybody, if you're working a 9 to 5, I just resigned May 25th, 2023.
Okay.
So when I was doing that class, I was still working full time. So in that, as I was transitioning, I was investing, but I was also saving my money so I can get. So I was basically buying my time back. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take those things in place, and you have to be intentional about being disciplined enough to, because especially like I told you, I was married with 5 children. They all be asking for stuff. My husband needs stuff. We still have to run a household. In June, when that storm happened, we had significant damage to our house. We had a big tree in our backyard. We had 2 branches that hit our house and tore, like, we got a beam in our living room and it just severed that. It's still damaged, so hopefully we'll be getting that done soon.
Yeah.
Well, you got to take those things into consideration. So especially for entrepreneurs who have familiar commitments, you got to make sure that you protect your family.
Yes.
If they're taking a chance on you of this magnitude.
Yes.
Because a lot of, and I apologize if we're going off on a tangent.
Keep going. This is what it's for.
But a lot of people ask, like, is it worth purchasing the LLC? I know that the state of Tennessee's LLC fees are relatively high.
They are.
But this is what I'm going to ask.
Come on.
Is that $300 investment to protect your personal assets? Is it worth you keeping that money in your pocket? And then, because everybody right now is like trigger happy for suing people. I use the Rotel egg rolls. You making Rotel egg rolls, them John's fat. And then somebody decide, I'm gonna order your Rotel egg roll, and you might just had that junk fresh out the grease, that cheese melting at that junk. Ooh, you burn your mouth up, and they want to sue you, but you are a sole proprietor, not an LLC, so they suing you, not Rotel Egg Roll LLC. Is it worth that? Because money is one of the reasons why a lot of people split up.
Yes.
Don't do that to the folks that are supporting you.
Yeah. And to back up what you're saying, the main reason why I got the part-time job is I was in the space next door. I know you saw the sign. And it's smaller than the space that I'm in now. So, of course, it costs more. And my husband is, thank God, a good man. And he pays all the bills. He told me, well, just go home, go home and do what you want to do, because the job was stressful. And so when I knew I was moving over here, I knew I was taking a chance. But I told him, I see, I can offer more things. I can offer more services. I can see it, and I can do a lot of other things in this office space. And I was like, but I don't want to put more on him, because I know if you're already, I'm taking from the household to pay that office space, I'd be taking from the household even more. And like you said, you have to decide, do you want to keep your family together and go after a dream and destroy your family? So you have to think about ways you want to sacrifice, because I know in the end, this going to pay off. So you have to decide which route you want to go. Do you want to struggle for it, and it's a way that you can do it a little bit easier? Working that little, and I prayed about that job. Working that little job is not as stressful as any other job, and I'm okay with the job. I kind of like the job, and so me going there and doing that, knowing that it takes a lot off my husband, is so much better, because he's one to be like, babe, we got to pay this bill. And I'm like, okay, he is a stressor over providing. Because when it's time to provide, he ready.
That's right. Love it.
So I know he's going to stress about that. But I'm like, babe, don't worry about it. The Lord ain't left us this time. He ain't left us yet. Babe, did you think we was going to be where we in at? No. Well, quit all that worrying. But that's easier said than done.
That's right.
But if I can take it away from him a little bit of that stress, I want to.
Absolutely.
And you have to think about that, because I even think it helped me a little bit more too, because when you use somebody else's money to fund your business, you got to pay it back.
That's right.
So I do have to pay some money back.
Mm-hmm. But likewise.
Yeah. So it really does help us, even though it may not be what I want to do at the moment. I know it's going to pay off.
Right. And let me encourage you also, when you're talking about like your part-time job, we have to also take into consideration that we are assets. You are an asset. So when you are in a position where you're not performing at your optimal best, that impacts the business. So you taking the chance to do a part-time job that allows you to think about, I'm pretty sure it's not as taxing as your other job was. So that means you're able to think creatively to do things. I'm pretty sure you probably in your phone write notes down and things.
I get to read.
And you get to read. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's a value add.
Yes. And I'm always reading something to better my life. So I'm just like, I get to read. This is okay with me.
Exactly. So I think that's worth it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the portion where we figure out who you are outside of the business. So people can come do business with you and be like, I don't know this lady. I can't be trusting this lady. Okay, so you are from Memphis. You say Fraser area, the area where if you drop me off, I'm going to be lost.
Yes, ma'am.
So y'all been out there your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much in the North Memphis area. I got a little funny for you. So I'm from Raleigh, technically.
Okay, same.
And so every time that I try to be, especially we were in high school, I'm from North Memphis, like North. They be like, you are from Raleigh. Raleigh does not count.
That is so. And then I mess with my husband too, because his mother and father, my in-laws. Okay, they are like, they're right here in Raleigh. Barley, like if you go two seconds up the street, I'm like, you from Barley? He like, no, I'm from Raleigh. Raleigh, Barley.
It pays, because I'm right there off of a stage, right there in that border. Yeah, I stay over there by Raleigh, Barley Meadow, so it's the same thing. But hey, when they count, I'm from Barley. Other times, I'm from Memphis.
That is too funny.
Right.
That is so funny. Okay, with you being from Memphis, how do you feel about Memphis?
I love Memphis.
I do too.
I love Memphis. One of the things that I feel like Memphis gets a bad rap a lot of the times. But one thing I will always stand 10 toes down on, Memphis is probably one of the highly resourced areas. You can't tell me that the kids don't have anything to do.
Yes.
That's not true. We have plenty of programs for your babies to do stuff in. When it comes to small businesses, oh my goodness.
Yes.
You got the City of Memphis Office of Business Diversity and Compliance. You have Shelby County government, all the certifications and the programs that come with it, because I've been a part of those. Women's Business Center South, the Black Business Association of Memphis. It's too many resources out here for you to not be a business and not thrive. They are looking for people to take these local contracts, because in order to get funding, a certain percentage of them have to be certified women-owned, minority-owned, disadvantaged area, this, that, and the third. So, yeah. Memphis is that place.
I think a lot of people don't know about it. I'm going to take that back. When I was single and it was just me and my son, we did so much free stuff. We was doing stuff all the time because I didn't want him to be in the house and want him to be bored, because I remember my childhood. But, but it's so much stuff here. But if you're just in your circle and you don't go outside of your circle, it's hard to find out about it. I didn't find out a lot of stuff until I did start networking, until I started doing different things than what I usually do in my life. When I got out of the norm, that's when I was like, oh, we got this here. Oh, they do this here. And it's still some things that I don't know about, but I'm always trying to learn more and more, because I do love my city too.
Absolutely. Y'all check out like Choose 901, Teach 901, New Memphis. we got so many different organizations, local organizations that offer, free things, and they also post those things on social media.
Yeah, the city offers a lot of free things. I didn't even know they had a free summer camp. I was like, $0. If my child was not going to the school thing, I would have put her in the free summer camp. I had no idea.
Yeah, and that summer camp, I'm assuming if that's the same summer camp, like I went to that summer camp when I was a little girl. Oh. At the time, it was fee-based, but it was on a income-based, right? So it went from that to, I remember when my kids were a little younger, if you had I think it was still on a sliding scale, or if you had assistance, you can get it for a significantly reduced rate, but now it's free.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take advantage of it.
Yeah, you're right about that. Okay, I can tell a little bit, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Who or what inspires you?
Oh, man. First and foremost, God, you just have to do the work to know. I'm 44 years old, and I'm just now understanding that God loves me, and it's not merit-based, and it's not performance-based. That man loved me from the get-go. It was me being a clown.
Yeah.
So that's first and foremost. Community, my parents, definitely my husband. I would not be where I am without Mariko A. Jones Jr., a.k.a. Liam Neeson.
There they go. See, this the second woman that came on that show and said my husband inspired me too. I love you, Jill.
You got to, because when I was at InvestFest, he had to sacrifice taking off work to take our youngest son back and forth to school. So, I mean, it's those little things.
Yes.
My community, from my former coworkers to my mentor, community, to the positionettes, to my clients.
Yes.
All those things inspire me to get up and be like, somebody's counting on you. Get your dusty tail up. Make it happen today.
That's how you have to be sometimes. You do. If you don't get up, your kids going to be looking at you. Well, I ain't got to get up, so get your butt up.
Right,
or
that part.
You got a client. Come on, you got to get up and show up for your client,
Exactly.
So you're right. Okay, what are your hobbies?
Oh, chicken.
You from Memphis, man.
Chicken.
Okay, we can hang out then, because my husband be like, you check anybody. You check an old lady, a person in a wheelchair. I was like, well, don't do nothing then.
Right. What's up? Are you fresh on it?
Like, what you said? You got some rims on your wheelchair, don't it? My husband be like, you just be talking to everybody. You know you ain't right. I be like,
I love chicken. I love chicken. That's my hobby.
And it is too funny.
Right. Shout out to T-Money. So funny. Have you seen T?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
I was just watching.
Talk about inspiration.
Yes, that boy's stupid. stupid.
That's my hobby. But outside of that, for real, outside of that, I still have some music things in me. Still listening to music, randomly dancing.
Okay.
Things like that. Just having fun.
Yes.
I feel like, and that's one of the things I might have to do better at, especially now as a full-time entrepreneur, just prioritizing joy.
Okay.
And just doing things for me and not just tied to GIP and stuff like that.
Find that turn off switch. I be trying to do it on the weekend, but then I be like, oh, I need to. And my husband be like, no.
Right, that part.
Yeah, so I know what you mean. What are you listening to, music-wise, reading, and or studying right now?
Oh my goodness. Right now, I would say podcast-wise, I'm listening to podcasts.
Okay.
The Social Proof Podcast.
Okay.
With David Shands and Donnie Wiggins. Yeah, every entrepreneur needs to subscribe to that.
Yeah.
They recently did an episode on Reflections on InvestFest that I was listening to before I drove up here. I'm listening to them. I wish I had the name of that other baby that I just recently, I think her name is Dion or something like that. She's the owner of Blavity.
Okay.
I'll get you the information to that podcast. I just recently started listening to her, and she had an individual on her show that really gave a real good nugget about if you're a full-time entrepreneur and you're trying to figure out how to price your services. I'm gonna give you some free game.
Yeah.
And so this is what she said. She was just like, don't. Of course, we have industry standards, but at the end of the day, you got to eat. So you do your household budget. You figure out what the gap is. Like, say, if you missing like $2,000, right, in order to get from point A to point B in your household budget, you price your services around. If you need $2,000 a month, you price your services around that to ensure that you got stuff for your house.
Oh, I never thought about it like that.
Why did I think about that? Because when it comes
about it like that,
right? Because when you think about pricing and stuff, it will stress you out to the point where you just have to take a nap. And then if
somebody was like, your price is too low. I'm like, I want to be affordable for people. They was like, you too affordable.
Yep, that part. And that's a challenge because raising your prices, you be scared if folks are going to leave and things like that. But I will tell you this, there is a blessing in raising your prices because it's going to communicate a standard for you. And then it's also going to attract the clients that you're really supposed to have in the first place.
Got you.
So don't be afraid about doing that.
Okay. Okay. Are you reading anything at the moment?
I'm not reading anything particularly at the moment. It's just outside of my Bible. But like I said, right now, I think it's just podcasts for right now. I got plenty of books I should be reading, but right now I'm reading my Bible.
Okay, what's your favorite song and favorite movie?
Oh my goodness. I think I had too many songs to be my favorite. I mean, it can be like Phil Collins, Easy Lover.
Okay.
To Mary J. Blige, What's the 411? CD.
I like music too, but I got songs that I can play over and over and over again. PYT and Rock With You.
Oh man, yeah, Michael. Off the Wall. That's just a classic. Thriller is a classic. I have too many songs to be like a favorite.
Wait, those are the two. If anybody know me, they come on, they be, there go your song. I be like, yeah, that's my song.
Right. Be like, oh. Now, as far as movies are concerned, no judgment. Full Metal Jacket.
Really? That's your favorite? Oh my gosh. Stern.
The way you talking to folks is hilarious.
Oh my God.
That's probably by far my. And then, like, of course, we have the classes like Color Purple. The Bridges of Madison County, I think if you're talking about from a woman's liberation type of.
No, my favorite movie is Blow, so don't.
Oh, wow.
I like true stuff, and it's like an outrageous story. I'm like, can't nobody live a life like this. This can't be real, but it's supposed to be real.
But by far, like, I say definitely Full Metal Jacket. I can just watch all day. And I'm like, dude, yeah, that drill sergeant was just insane.
Man, terrible. Terrible. He was spitting on them folks. I'm like, I see the spit.
Right.
And then after the incident happened, and then they just go straight into, oh, me so horny. I'm like, where did this come from?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
It just jumped from that to that. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. But yeah, so that is a good movie. Yeah. But no, nothing here. No boxes here. No boxes. Because I've been told many times I'm a full-blown dude. And I be like, no, I'm not.
Right.
I'm a lady. Okay, so before we get back to this next set of questions, I'm going to ask you about Invest Fest. How was Invest Fest? It looked like it was amazing.
Oh, my goodness. It was amazing. That was my first time doing like a for real like trade show. So from the planning and stuff like that, it was overwhelming.
Your stuff, I was looking and I was like, I would not even know what to do. Then you put the camera on your booth. And I was like, because I feel like we're kind of in the same field. I just have the podcasting studio added on and you go deeper into financials. But I was like, I wouldn't know what to do. You turned that camera around and I saw your booth. I said, oh my God, she did it. She did it. You did a wonderful job. Your booth looked so good.
Thank you. It was definitely a lot of looking at TikToks, YouTube University, asking, and that's why your community is so important. Like my Soul Shift sisters, I was running ideas by them. I was running ideas by the Positionettes. I hired another consultant. I'm not sure. Have you heard of Kimberly Newsom?
Yes.
Yes. She styled my husband and I for our 10-year anniversary pictures.
Oh, okay.
And so I hired her for like an hour to give me I did like a vendor booth mock-up on Microsoft Word.
Really?
And I was like, Kim, because I know she's a big thing on branding and marketing. And so she gave me some pointers. And she gave me, I think, she was the one that gave me the biggest gem. She was like, your target market is not the attendees. Your target market are the 400 vendors that are there.
Wow.
And that's exactly what we did.
Yes, I saw you networking, baby.
Yeah, we did. We created little treat bags that had like a luggage tag in there because we wanted to kind of keep it on, wealth, get flued out.
Okay.
A business card, and we also had a pen in there. And we took there between Diamond and Natalie and I. We shopped that whole place.
Wow.
And left a bag with every vendor.
Wow. And that is so funny that you say that. I always say when I go do it, I've only did like 2 pop-up shops. And when I went, it was always, I went around, before we got started, I went to every vendor. I wasn't even thinking about, I'm thinking like, well, I'm going to get some email addresses.
Mm-hmm.
But then I never thought, wow. So I was doing what I was supposed to do and didn't even know it. But I was like, hey, my name is, and I went to every table in there.
Right.
So that's amazing. All right. So I did a little something right.
You did. Absolutely. They talked about that on the Social Proof podcast. Like if you're going to a networking event, you need to go in with a goal. And Donnie actually said something that kind of sparked my interest because our goal was to get with, all of the vendors, at least, exchange, bags with them. But she was like, actually, your goal shouldn't be to work the room, to try to make it a little bit more specific, kind of like to your goal. I guess that's the way I received it, what she was saying, to be a little bit more specific to your goals. You can't be just all in everybody, trying to meet everybody.
Okay, so just be like, okay, it's 400 vendors. I need to talk to at least 2.
Mm-hmm. Or at least have a percentage right, stuff like that. And then also when we did that, like after I sorted out all of those contacts and stuff, I had potential partners to do workshops with, tax prep partners, business consultation partners, folks that had services that GIP probably needs to invest in, things like that, prospective clients. We were writing on business cards all over the place, right? Just to remember. And y'all, if y'all are entrepreneurs and you get business cards, don't get the glossy stuff because you need to write on it. Get like the matte. It can still look fly, but you need to write on that.
You'll never know who you may run into, and they be like, I just passed out my last business card. And you be like, oh, well.
Right. And get a digital business card because that Friday we did run out of business cards. We had to find a same day printing place in Atlanta and order some more, but get a digital card.
That's what somebody told me. I did it. I was like, it's fancy.
Yeah, it is fancy because when I was sitting up there looking like Thelma Harper, like, just stand the QR code. They were like, ma'am, I was trying. I did it though. I'm being good.
That is too funny. Okay, so do you want to give us anything else that you took from Invest Fest?
Oh my goodness, there's so many things that I learned. One, you have to, this is just spiritual obedience. I remember sitting in my office scrolling Instagram, and when Earn Your Leisure's like, vendors available. Like I was looking at it like, because the year before we did Black Equity Con, and that was sponsored by the Social Proof Podcast, David Shands and them. That was an amazing event as well. So I'm thinking like Invest Fest was probably going to be on that same level, right? Baby. I went on ahead and did what Holy Spirit asked me to do. He was like, go ahead and pay for that because the minimum to get a booth was $1,000.
Okay. I don't think that's too bad. Not Invest Fest. With all them people, all those different people, like you said, between the celebrities and social media people, just the content alone that you're able to grab. And I know you probably got plenty of pictures and videos in your phone that you could probably use all year long. And between the 2 people you had.
Right.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then shout out to Diddy for, in his interview, he talked about the importance of having a CFO And we just so happened in one of our banners, we had virtual CFO services. And them folks was just like, I need a CFO. And I was like, wait a minute. Why are y'all all of a sudden asking about CFO stuff? Did it say edit? And I was like, bet. Take a picture. So tag what you say on Instagram.
When it move you, it tell you how to move you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And we're actually going to do an Instagram live. I know it's going to be time sensitive. We're actually going to do an Instagram live tonight at 7. Okay. To talk about what is the CFO.
Okay.
Riding the wave. But
that's what you got to do in this world. This is a different kind of time.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think just being able to take a chance on yourself, meet new people. Done is better than perfect. That's one of the things that we talk about in our Soul Shift Inner Circle group a lot. Just go out there and do it. You know, just like we were talking about the backdrop and the booth setup that Tuesday before we left. I didn't have my backdrop. I had the banners, but they weren't on the stands. So I had to find someone in Atlanta. The morning I was driving to Atlanta, I was calling trying to find same day printers. One of my friends, Jay, suggested somebody to me, but they didn't open till noon. So, but if it wasn't for his plug, that's how I found the other plug. To order all this, or reorder all that stuff. And then by the time we got there about 8 o'clock, we had the 2 banners in the backdrop and the stand.
Are you serious?
Clutch. So that's entrepreneurship. That's the stuff folks don't want to talk about. And just being, consistent and just be ready to learn the lesson. That was one of the things I think that my husband just kept, encouraging me about. Just be ready to learn the lesson. Just show up and enjoy it.
Just have fun. Don't take it too serious. But be ready for it. Just have your ears open.
Just have your ears open. That's it.
That's good. Okay, so now we're going to go back to business.
Yes.
Okay. So would you do anything differently when you started your business? I think every entrepreneur would be like, I want to be ABC.
I think would I do anything different? Because I think if I did anything different, I wouldn't be where I am. You know?
That's true.
But I think probably one of the things I probably would have done is just advocated for myself a little bit more.
That's the biggest thing. I would have networked more. I would have marketed more. And it's all about putting yourself out there more.
Right.
I think that's okay. So any future entrepreneurs, just remember that get started before you get started. Put the idea out there, and even like I said, if you start off with the basic, get your EIN and say, coming soon, you know, and just put it out there. Just put it out there in the atmosphere. I wish I would have did that a long time ago, but I was like, no, people don't think it's and I'm one of those people, everything got to be perfect. I almost was like, I ain't gonna let nobody come and do the podcast. I'm gonna wait until after I get the rest of the office finished. And I was like, oh, no. I already know I can get the podcasting studio done like that. Let me go ahead and get this studio done, and I worry about that as I go along.
Exactly. Done is better than perfect.
Yes. Right. Oh, done is better than perfect. You heard that? And then you can perfect it along the way.
That's right.
That's right. What advice would you give to new entrepreneurs?
Man, be yourself. There's 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion people. I know I'm not for everybody, but I'm for somebody, you know. And just I would say that be you because you are your brand, and just know that, like I said, you are the asset. You are an asset to your business. So you have to protect the asset, not just an entity, but also getting proper rest. Setting boundaries for yourself. Yes. Establishing healthy partnerships that have reciprocity, equal reciprocity.
Yes.
Be willing to, let things go that don't serve you. Things like that.
Those are all good things. She just told y'all a lot.
Still learning some of those things.
So what's next for GIP?
Oh my goodness. So this season is now what we're getting ready for tax prep season. Okay. Right. So we are in full evangelism mode. We're trying to get entrepreneurs like, hey, it's almost tax time. It is August of 2023. if you don't have your financials organized by now, let's go ahead and at least get started. But of course, we are not going to say any of that without at least offering a solution. So this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast. So we have partnered with a nonprofit organization called Building Memphis.
Okay.
And Building Memphis, they are designed to, they receive funding from the SBA. And what they do, they support several of the community development corporations within, Memphis. And they're funneling those funds through those CDCs to help the small businesses in those respective neighborhoods.
Oh, okay.
And so the business finance blueprint that I was telling you about, which anybody can get that for free. That's our lead magnet. You can get that from our website, GIPfinancials.com. We're going to offer a business finance boot camp. It's going to be a 3-hour intensive through Building Memphis.
Okay.
And that program is going to be free because it's sponsored through Building Memphis. So once we get the dates and the locations confirmed, I'll make sure to send that to you so you can share that. And that'll be free and open to the public.
Oh, wow. And it's the Building Memphis. It's the BLDG. Okay. Just want to make sure.
Exactly.
Okay. So Building Memphis. This sounds exciting. So how can I get in touch with you? Tell everybody.
So one of the things that we talked about, you got to invest in yourself. So one of the things that we did to prepare for Invest Fest, we invested in a more robust platform.
Okay.
For marketing things. So now we have Text Blast.
Oh.
So if you can text GIP to area code, make sure I get this right, 901-403, I think it's 6651. Text GIP to area code 901-403-6651 to get updates, YouTube new videos. If you need to get on the wait list. Right. All that. If you need to get on the wait list for us to help you with your taxes, information about the Business Finance Bootcamp with Building Memphis, start there. You can also reach us on our website, www.gipfinancials.com. And you can also, you can get the Business Finance Blueprint there. You can schedule a 15-minute free discovery call if you feel like you need some help. Like if you have QuickBooks, you don't have QuickBooks, and you just need to get organized to figure out the level of investments that's feasible for you and your business. We're also on Instagram, Facebook under GIP_financials, and I'm on LinkedIn under Sonja Jones.
Okay, this is exciting.
We have plenty of ways to connect with us, but those are the main ways.
Okay, that's so exciting. I'm so glad about your new stuff that's coming up. It sounds like you guys are going to help a lot of businesses.
Right.
This sounds really good. I'm excited for you all.
Yeah.
I like this interview. This was a good interview, y'all.
Yeah.
They all be good. No offense to all my other guests, but they all be good. I think every time I interview somebody, I get a little bit extra.
That's all right there, man. That's what it's about.
But I really enjoyed this interview. I had a great time talking to you, so thank you for coming.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
Okay, again, we have Sonja Jones with GIP Financials. Go follow her. Go do the text. Make sure you do the text. Again, very informative. So thank you all for listening to Bigger Than Memphis, and I'm excited about what's to come. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, and share this video. See you guys later. Thank you.